All right, this question gives us 2 points. We have point A at -7, -9, and we have the second point at an unknown coordinate, part of our coordinate or ordered pair at x, comma, -34. We also have our slope at -5/7, or a rise of -5 and a run of 7. So what we have to do is find x in this one. So to solve that, what we're going to do is we're going to use, I'm just going to try to draw a line here just to kind of keep things organized. I'm going to use m, that's supposed to be an m there, equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's always handy to take a second and label things. So m is m. So there's my m, there's my m. So that shouldn't be too crazy. For labeling, I will keep the blue around my m. Okay, so here is, and my top of my screen is kind of blocking it, so I'll try my best. So y, that's y2. Sorry, that's not y2. That's y1. And that's x1. This is x2, and this is y2. Perfect. So now I'm going to plug in my values that I know. So my y2 value that I labeled is right here. So here's my y2 value, and my y2 value is -34. So I write that in at -34 minus my y1. And my y1 is right here. It's -7. So I write in -7. So bracket -7 or -7 all over. Did I make a mistake there? I totally did. Oops, so there's my mistake. I forgot to say that my y1 is -9, not -7. Oops, so I'm just gonna fix that up real quick. -9, that's what we get for doing work after school. And now my x2 minus x1 part of the equation. So I look at my x2, and my x2 is unknown as x, and my x1 is -7. So I write x minus bracket -7. And where did you get that negative from? Where do you get this negative from right here, or that minus? That minus comes from my equation right there. And I also take a minute and I write my slope of -5/7. Okay, so let's do some cleaning up. We look for things that we can do that can make this a little bit less crazy looking. So I look at the top here, and I can probably do -34 minus -9. I also know that when two negatives are touching this, it forms a positive. So it's technically -34 plus 9 would be another way of thinking of that. And -34 plus 9 gets me to -25. So I'm just going to, I've run out of room, so I'm just going to keep working over here. So -5/7 equals -25 bracket or over x, and I look over here real quick and I can do some cleaning. I see these two negatives touching right there. So when you see two negatives touching that, it turns into a positive because the negative times negative is positive. So that's x plus 7. Sorry if that x is really messy. All right. Now we can cross multiply. We can go 7 times -25. And I cannot do that in my head, so I am going to cheat for a second. And 7 times -25 gets me to -175. So I just did that there. And the next step I do is I do -5 times x plus 7. And it doesn't matter which part of your fraction the negative goes with, whether this negative right here, whether this negative right here goes with the 5 or goes with the 7. You just have to pick one of the two that the negative goes with. And in this situation, I picked that the negative goes with the 5. You just got to make sure you pick. So I read it as negative. I'm going to totally run out of room on this. This is going to be tight. -5 bracket x plus 7. Yikes, that's so messy. Okay. So I'm going to take a second and I might just rewrite this so I have a bit more room because it's totally messy. So just give me a second here. Let's see if I can erase here quick. That's not erasing. How can I erase? Let's try that. That's not erasing. Let's try erasing this way. Let's just do that. I'll just keep cleaning up here. I'm just going to move everything over. So we still know that this is negative 175 equals negative 5 bracket x plus 7. Oh, it fits. Okay, good. And how did I get that? Well, 7 times negative 25 got me to there. And negative 5 times positive 7 got me to there. Perfect. Okay, so even before I go crazy, I see that I'm going and I'm taking negative 5 and I'm multiplying it using distributive property by x plus 7. So I can actually just take care of that right away by dividing both sides by negative 5. I can't do 175 divided by 5 in my head, but my calculator tells me that a negative times a negative is a positive, and so that gets me to 35. And then my 5's cross out and leaves me with x plus 7. That's a really messy x. I might just try to clean that up a bit. X plus 7. And I now need to get x by itself, so I subtract 7 from both sides. And I go 35 minus 7 to get me to 28. And my final answer is that x equals 28. Dun, 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 dun. And that is how to find one of the two coordinates. And if it asks you for your final answer of what your coordinate pair is, you'd take that 28 you got and you'd put it in right there. So your ordered pair or coordinate pair would be 28 comma negative 34 for point B.